Hey kids, you trying to get into Segment City? Well, you really shouldn't, because Segment City is a mature podcast, and listener discretion is advised. I'm just trying to look at... I know I'm in an alleyway. I know how I look, but I got some fireworks for you kids. I got snakes and I got sparklers. That's all I got. Oh, don't give me that. So Theo, I this weekend played a card game that we were talking before the podcast, and now I'm like, I want to talk about this actually, but this is podcast worthy. I'm at the end of the show, Parks and Recreation. Great show. Got 4 more episodes left.
When you say the end, you're talking like the bonus season that they did after the fact that takes place in the future.
In the quote unquote future.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing that. And then there's like a weird Zoom call meeting. I don't know. But we played a game that was it was a Parks and Rec game that was like it kind of had an apples to apples Cards Against Humanity spin on it, where it was one person picks out an issue, like they get 2 issues or controversies, and then everybody else has quotes from the show, and you have to use the quote in a like spin to the thing. So it was like, and it's like the controversies are also things from the show. Okay. So it was like there's the quote of, I found a sandwich in the park and it didn't have mayonnaise, and I want to know why.
That was just one of the townspeople.
Yeah, and so it's like you heard with purred things of like controversies, and you had to use quotes, and it was probably the most weird role play that I've ever done.
You're role playing as people from a beloved TV show, if you'd like.
If you'd like, you can do a fun Ron Swanson impersonation, which did get me a vote. Like it got me the card. But it was a weird game, I gotta say. And it was also, certain characters have better quotes than the others. Can we just... Parks and Rec is a very quotable show, though.
It is. Where do you think it ranks in the pantheon of modern 20-minute sitcoms? We're talking Office. I'm not a big fan of these. Good Place. We're talking...
I haven't watched a lot, and I'm not a huge fan of them, mostly. I gotta say. This is probably the probably maximum awkwardness that I can have, and it's not that awkward of a show.
That's so surprising to me, because I feel like
I cringe.
I know you cringe, but I think that for whatever reason, I love The Office, and I think there are cringy moments, but most of them are just funny. I can't
deal with The Office. The Office is like Parks the peak to me.
Parks and Rec really was somebody who was like, I wanted to like The Office, but I couldn't, so I made Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and it's a show for me, somebody who doesn't like The Office.
Right, exactly. It's got that feel good vibe.
It has a little bit more of the like, I know everything's gonna like work out in the end than The Office does.
The Office still, everything's gonna work out in the end. Still in The Office, it's just awkward to get there.
But like the overall message is awkwardness. Right. I think we've talked about this, that my main problem with Parks and Rec is that like Leslie just like all the characters just are static and will like learn lessons of like, oh, I should let people lead instead of trying to take charge all the time. And then Leslie like goes and takes charge all the time anyway. Yeah. And it's like, that's why I don't like shows like this where it keeps resetting. I hear The Good Place is very good. It's one of those, you haven't watched The Good Place?
I don't think it's that level. I really don't think it's that level. Like
a lot of people have recommended it to me.
I think The Good Place is
out of the blue.
It's good. I don't think it's phenomenal. I think it's good, not great.
Speaking of kind of cringe stuff, this was going to be my original opener.
Speaking of good, not great, welcome to Segment City.
We can't get into... Okay, we'll do the intro now that you've got us into the intro part of the damn show. Welcome to Segment City, everybody. This is a show in which Theo and I talk about Parks and Rec every week. It's all city-based shows, so we're doing Parks and Rec.
What we do is we do a very high-level overview and review of just Parks and Rec every week. So if you're here for that, Come on by.
And then we're going to go on to The Wire.
Oh,
anyway.
Good show. You should watch The Wire. You haven't seen The Wire?
You haven't seen that? Okay, we'll get... I need to do my intro. Okay, I'm in the role. I'll get mad in a second. My name's Will Kane, and I'm holding back some anger.
And I'm Theo Sapakos, and I'm wearing a wire.
Oh, no.
Which seems redundant because we are recording a podcast, but, you know.
Yeah,
it's my backup.
Well, we got to get a backup of all these great segments that we have each week. Some are new, some are recurring. They're about a variety of topics, whatever Theo and I want to talk about, but we're going to surprise each other. Unsurprisingly, I hate whenever people say, you haven't seen X.
Will's stupid thought is you hate when you haven't seen X.
No, that is not. Oh. I have a different stupid thought, but we're tangents on tangents. Right
Mostly
now.
I hate when people say you haven't seen X and then try to tell you it's the greatest thing ever. I don't believe you. I
had somebody when we were playing the Parks and Rec game, we were like, oh, there might be spoilers for the last 4 episodes, like half jokingly, but half serious of like, I'm like, is there something huge that happens in the last 4 episodes? And a person said to me, you haven't watched Parks and Rec? And I was like, I'm literally fucking finishing it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We're talking 98% completion. You haven't watched it?
It's like seeing somebody at the gym who's like overweight and they're at 90% of their goal. And you're like, what a fat ass. Why aren't you going to the gym? And I'm like, I'm at the gym. Like, I'm doing the work here.
It's like someone who's at like mile 23.5 of a marathon. And you're like, doesn't even run. Yeah.
It makes me not want to watch the thing or play the game or whatever because out of spite.
That's the thing. When I come to people with recommendations for things, I come at it from a very, not over.
You've done that though.
I know, but I try to be not overexcited because if you come to someone you're like super hyped up, super overexcited. When someone comes to me like that, I'm like, back off. Whatever your fandom is, I'm good. I'm not going to partake. Thank you.
I think there's a level of excitement that you like, oh, it's a great show. Avatar: The Last Airbender, love it. It's a great show. Mm-hmm. If you're into the blood and give a little pitch for it. And then it's like, oh, yeah, maybe if I'm in the mood for that, like that's a way better pitch. Yep. But my original opener that we're like, we're going to get to 10 minutes before I do. My mom before the show was like, were you on that Zoom call with your cousin and like one of your brother's friends and stuff where there's a bunch of controversy? And I was just like, no, I didn't know about the Zoom call. Like, what is this Zoom call? And she started,
give me that tea.
She started describing it. And then I was like, that was on a Discord server. That was messaging. That was like a group chat. And she was just like, then she looked at me and said, all those things I just call Zoom calls now. And that was like, you know, like I've known my parents are old for a while, but that was the moment that I was like, oh,
hey, Will,
you're very old now.
You're playing on your Nintendo. I don't care if it's a PC. It's a Nintendo.
It's a Nintendo Zoom call. Like Zoom call is specific. It wasn't even a video chat. It was like, they were all on a video chat that was Google Hangouts.
Zoom hasn't totally market dominated for long enough to accomplish what Kleenex has done with the tissue. You don't get to do that overnight.
That's it's not even, it's like if it was a video call, I would have been like, okay, Zoom, it was a Skype. That's fine. Like that's big whoop, not a big difference. It was a chat room. It was text. It was a different format. What's that movie you're watching? I'm reading a book. What are you talking about?
Any text communication is now email. Anything to do with voice is now Zoom. And anything visual is now the movies.
It is. Anyway, well, you know what? Let's just skip Will's stupid thought. We've just been going on a tirade about stupid stuff, and we could do it next week. I just want to get it off my chest. Okay, all that stuff.
He wanted to do it.
Let's just go into your segment. Okay?
We're coming into my next segment. We're going back to eBay finds, baby. We got another find for you this week.
Oh,
this one's hot. This one's spicy.
I'm ready.
Unique bald eagle on branch collector's item Flaming Hot Cheeto. Look.
Wait. Okay. All right. Now
did I really twist the knife with that last 3 words? Flaming Hot Cheeto?
Yes.
Did I?
I almost missed it because I was already laughing because it was like, okay, you're selling a bald eagle. What's the thing? What's the Flaming Hot Cheeto? Does it have it in its talon? Is it perched on a very big Cheeto?
No, well.
What's happening?
So what do you... Here's
Give me the description again.
Here's the name again. Unique bald eagle on branch collector's item. Flaming Hot Cheeto look. And the look has 2 @ signs instead of O's.
Oh, look. Look is also a thing. Look at my thing. Like, I don't know what they're expecting.
I want you to look at it.
You're not like a carnival barker, just like, come on, look at the unique collector's item. I mean, also, unique in collectors is...
On an eBay, isn't everybody just trying to be a carnival worker hawking their wares on eBay? You kind of are.
It's silent. It's a silent, like, you are hawking it to yourself.
This is the silent equivalent of, come on down, take a gander, take a look.
Yeah, at this bald eagle flaming hot... Everything makes sense in the beginning. I don't know how they got a hold of this bald eagle. Hopefully it died of natural causes because I don't think you can kill him. But it was cool. Unique. Okay, collectors. Yeah, I bet. Like, you can't get a lot of these.
Unique collectors item.
Flaming Hot Cheetos. Let's get into it.
Flaming Hot Cheeto. I hate to break it to you. I love that you think perhaps that this is a genuine eagle. In fact, it's just a Cheeto in the shape of an eagle. I'm looking at it now, and it barely resembles a bird. Okay, it just looks like a Cheeto.
Somebody got really high
and decided to list their single Cheeto on eBay.
Babe, does this look like a bald eagle to you? It vaguely looks like a bird. Bald eagle. True patriots will love this Cheeto.
With this?
I think I can. Give me everything about this. I want to know everything.
Here's the description, and it could be sad, but I don't also know if I believe it. Here we go. Unique Flaming Hot Cheeto. Nothing altered on it. Original shape straight from the bag. So you're telling me I could go down to the convenience store and get a bag of these bad boys without the hassle of eBay at my earliest convenience.
I enjoy also the idea that there's some kind of like jewel person, you know, when they have the thing in their eye that they're like, and he's like genuine.
Genuine.
No, like saws have been used to make it into a bird.
Uncut, I might say. Looks like a bald eagle on a branch. If you like collecting weird stuff, then this is for you.
Oh, I do.
Just trying to get money for my dad's funeral. He died unexpectedly at the age of 58. Didn't have life insurance. God bless. That's the end of the description.
Oh, no.
That's very morbid.
And with his dying breaths, he handed me a pack of Cheetos.
And he said, sell this so I can be buried in dignity.
Fucking stupid. Okay.
I don't think I believe... We have to draw the line somewhere, right? With like believability on eBay posts. Like eBay is not the most reputable. No one's fact checking anything here.
No. If we looked at another one of these things, it's like my father died at 68. That's a different age, dude.
That's a different age.
Can't use the same lie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't. Yeah, that's no. I'm gonna go with a no. If this is your plan, this is just a bad plan. If it's real.
Also, I'm looking around at the suggested items. There are other Cheetos.
Of course there is. There's like toast with Jesus' face on it. Why wouldn't there be Cheetos that look like big birds?
He's got another listing. Unique flying Superman Cheeto Comic-Con item.
Oh, Comic-Con. Comic-Con nerd.
I don't think Comic-Con endorses this post. I don't think so.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
So, Will, how much would you pay for unique bald eagle on branch collector's item Flaming Hot Cheeto look?
How much would I pay? Nothing.
No. How much do you think they're at? I always ask you this. How much would you pay? It's always the wrong question. How much would they like?
how much would they like? They would like, they're trying to pay for a funeral, which those are pricey as hell.
Yeah, we're guessing buy it now price.
I was going to be like, $30 for a single Cheeto.
For
like,
a unique bald eagle collector's item?
He's trying to pay for a fucking... I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna go spicy with this one.
Spicy.
I'm gonna go $500. I don't even think that's that spicy.
Wow, that's your spicy take. You would be half of the correct price of 1,000 Christian dollars.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is me saying we're living in a society here.
This is fucking bananas. Are you fucking kidding?
This is madness.
And then there's some person who hasn't seen their fingertips in 20 years. That's like, it's time for me to get. This is my collection. I've gotten everything. I've gotten every animal in the animal kingdom in Cheeto form.
They open their laptop and with their Cheeto covered finger, they type on their keyboard, filling the cracks with Cheeto dust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then it gets
when they press each key, they hear a crunch, 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 crunch.
I was only gonna give you $700 for just the eagle, but it has a branch with it.
It has the branch sitting on branch, unique collector's item,
and it's flaming hot. Okay, this is great. Terrible. What a. Oh my god. Does it have any bids?
No, but it has 5 views per hour.
Oh,
so I'm one of the like competitive many.
There's many podcasts.
There's
right now
a plurality of us looking.
There's some of us. There's a handful. One handful.
I can't believe you when you're saying that you want the money for something, serious, when on your profile you've got another posting for another Cheeto. And the other one, he's for the unique flying Superman Cheeto Comic-Con item, original Cheeto unusual, he's asking for $5,000.
Are you fucking with me? Okay, there's so much work that you'd like. It's like buying a home that's by the water. You don't think about how much like demoisturizing you got to do. You got to like put it in a dry area. You got to make sure this thing doesn't get moldy.
That's right.
Don't think about that. People don't think about that.
You have to ship it in a vacuum sealed refrigerated truck. That's
exactly
expensive.
Yes. You're on the same level as me. This is insane.
Anyways, I thought I would bring you that.
Thank you. Genuinely thank you, because my life was a little bit less full. Mm-hmm. Not full in the sense of eating, because you can't eat this Cheeto.
Because you can't eat this Cheeto. Don't do it.
Imagine $1,000 and then you just eat it. Oh, wow. That would have been an expensive bite.
That's one flamey bite.
That's one flaming hot bite that you just took.
That's just like the it's like when Alec Baldwin in 30 Rock, he's like, oh no, it's in Arrested Development. She's like, how much could a potato cost? $10?
Oh, banana. Yeah, how much does a banana cost?
$10.
$1,000 for a single Cheeto?
How much could a Cheeto cost? $1,000?
Well, speaking of very expensive things.
I like this transition. We're keeping it classy. We're keeping it uptight here.
Maybe in the future, very expensive. This is in the news.
Mm-hmm.
Tech edition.
We're going down to CES. We're gonna get some new gadgets.
Do you know about an obscure fellow by the name of Gabe Newell?
Gabe
Newell had an interview with was One News, which is in Australia. This Australian, apparently I don't know if it was only with this reporter.
I like when Gabe has something to say, he's like, get me the news. And they're like, well, get One News.
One News.
Get me 1 unit of news. No more, no less.
But the headline of this article is, Gabe Newell says brain-computer interface tech will allow video games far beyond what human, quote, meat peripherals can comprehend.
Excuse me, Gabe, I have to interrupt you. You've said the word meat peripherals, and you must now go to jail.
It's such a... Okay. This is a article about just like future. This is classic Valve, where they're looking so fucking far in the future and they're developing for it, even though it's like, my dudes, you can't even get VR to be great. Like, what do you do with trying to make meat, like trying to get rid of the middleman?
You know when it's Thanksgiving times and your mom goes to reserve that turkey because everybody's trying to get a piece of this big old bird on the turkey day, and you say, "Hey, mom, make that bad boy too, because I got to take some rubber bands and strap one to my face as a meat peripheral."
But there's a video and it just has like a still picture of Gabe Newell as he is now, which he has a big white beard. His hair is down to his shoulders. He looks like he's wearing like those like douchey like wraparound sunglasses, except they don't have like dark frames. It's like clear frames, like it's his glasses.
Okay.
And he's wearing a polo shirt. That's classic Gabe. And he's shoeless, barefooted. His foot looks like they're gonna take it any day now, if I'm being honest. And it's just like imagine being Gabe Newell and just being like, I'm taking my shoes off, and being the reporter being like, but you can't. And he's like, I can and I will.
This is my house. And they're like, no, this is my house. He's like, I just bought it. It's my house.
Okay, let's just get right into this. Gabe Newell spoke to One News about the future of brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, an area he and other Valve staff have studied for several years now instead of fucking making games. Jesus. And talked about how Valve is working to put BCIs to use in the gaming sector. Newell admits some of his ideas may seem incredible and said some of the discussions he's having around BCIs are, quote, indistinguishable from science fiction. Wait, I didn't do that in the right voice. Indistinguishable from science fiction. But according to him, game developers would be making a mistake by not investigating BCIs within the short-term future. How short-term are we talking, fucking Gabe? You're the only one researching this.
Hey, Gabe. You go first.
You go first.
First.
I'm going to keep coming back to this, but it's like you're trying to do VR, which was supposed to be the future, and now you're like, the future's dead, long live the future. Let's get some BCIs in here.
Gabe has top access to cutting edge VR tech, and he's decided, you know what? Not good enough. This is old news.
He's like, why am I using meat peripherals? I smell like pepperoni, and I don't want to know my meat is here.
When 90% of the gaming audience has never put on a headset ever.
Yeah. They're jumping so far ahead. It's like, can you just like develop a game though?
Can you develop just, like, one game?
In the short-term future, can you like develop a game?
It's like, we did Half-Life Alyx, and the next one is going to be Half-Life, but only in your head.
That's kind of, imagine it. That's To help them do that, Newell said Valve is currently working on an open source BCI software project, allowing developers to begin to interpret the signals being read from people's brains using hardware like modified VR helmets. We're working on an open source project. Whatever. I feel like this is too much George Lucas. I feel like he's even more like, we're working on an open source project so that everyone can have high resolution brain signal read technologies built into headsets and a bunch of different modalities, Newell said. Valve has been working on OpenBCI headsets. OpenBCI unveiled a headset design in November called Gala, designed to work alongside VR headsets like Valve's Index. So what it looks like is imagine you're getting like a brainwashing thing in it from a movie, or like they're hijacking your brain.
Right.
It has a top strap, and then it has like two straps in the back, and then like a bunch of weird, almost look like scrubbies. Like, I don't know how to describe them. That they just like, yeah, they have, it's like a bunch of individual tongs on these circles.
Do they get like to get your electromagnetic brain waves or whatever? Yeah, okay.
In the back there. So it's like a bunch of circles that are all connected to your head. if you're a software developer in 2022 who doesn't have one of these in your test lab, you're making a silly mistake, Newell said.
Hey, Gabe.
Really, Gabe?
Hey, Gabe, when you picked a year for that quote, you only picked 1 year ahead. You only gave them 1 year.
You didn't give us a lot of time, Gabe.
You didn't give us a lot of time.
You're on the cutting edge, and you're like, if everybody's not on the cutting edge, what are you doing? Some of us are just out here struggling, Gabe.
Some of us are not worth hundreds of millions of dollars, Gabe.
I want to send you the picture of somebody, I think, using the BCI that they're talking about. I sent it to you. It's
a moment to pull it
exactly what you think it is, what it would look like.
Oh, yeah. He looks like he's going to be a supervillain one day. That's very nice. Oh, that's good.
It looks like the prototype for, like, a big brain thing.
There's just a little clip on his earlobe. Like, I got to get that earlobe signal, baby.
Got to get that pulse from my earlobe.
Got it. That's how you shoot. That's how you shoot the gun, is on the earlobe. No one knows. That's a secret hack right there.
It's so baffling to me when Gabe doesn't understand how privileged his company is, that it's like that they can just throw money away because Steam is just making so much fucking money for them that he's like, if people aren't all doing this, what are you doing? It's like the rich kid at school who has like like the newest shoes, and he's like, if everybody's not wearing this, then you're a piece of shit. It's like, what are you talking about?
You're a piece of shit. Gabe out here like, if you don't have a whole floor in your house dedicated to VR, you're a scrub.
I want Gabe Newell money. I want to wear a dirty polo shirt that I've had since 1998 that I could and be barefoot while doing an interview, just mocking people. I would love it.
Also, I hate to say it, but when I'm looking at this picture that you sent me, the screenshot of the guy that's playing, he's still using the keyboard and mouse. He's got one hand on the keyboard and one. What are you doing? You're supposed to be just using your brain.
I think it's figuring out what parts of his brain are working for it, I would say. But let's move on.
If you're not a lab rat, just giving us data, what are you doing? You should just go die.
I thought you were going to say, if you're not a developer, then you're a lab rat. If you're not not with us, then you're against us. This is also a quote from him. Software developers for interactive experiences, you'll be absolutely using one of these modified VR head straps to be doing that routinely, simply because there's too much useful data. That data will generally consist of readings from the player's body and brain, which can be used to tell if a player is excited, surprised, sad, bored, amused, and afraid, among other emotions. The readings can be used by developers to improve immersion and personalize what happens during games, like turning up. Yeah, that's also a big thing. Like turning up the difficulty a bit if the system realizes the player is getting bored. Aside from just reading people's brain signals, Newell also discussed the near future reality of being able to write signals to people's brains to change how they're feeling or deliver better than real visuals.
He's talking about brain dances. That's what he's talking about.
Everyone's worried about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and then fucking Gabe Newell comes in like an actual supervillain and is like, put on my headset. Well, I'm gonna write thoughts to your brain. That Steam is the best, and Gabe Newell's very attractive.
Gabe forgot that his own company couldn't prove out the idea that people wouldn't want to go strap something to their head for entertainment. He forgot that that isn't a proven concept already. People, A, haven't found a good enough reason to do it, or B, just don't want to do it.
If you're not on this by 2022, you're a piece of shit.
Then we're coming to your house with an assault rifle.
You can't get VR working. What are you talking about? He said that BCIs will lead to gaming experiences far better than a player could get through their meat peripherals, as in their eyes and ears. You're used to experiencing the world through eyes, Newell said. But eyes were created by this low-cost bidder that didn't care about failure rates and RMIs. And if it got broken, there was no way to repair anything effectively.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, yeah.
You're calling millions of years of evolution the lowest cost bidder. And you're saying that the lowest cost bidder implies that, failure is fine because we could pay the low cost. Hey, if our eyes didn't work in the past, we would get eaten by a fucking tiger.
Yeah, I get what he's like kind of saying of like your eyes you don't have super eyes. We don't get shrimp colors that apparently shrimp can see a bunch of colors. I think that's
compared
fine.
to some eyes, we're doing pretty well.
We're doing pretty well in terms of eyes. Which totally makes sense from an evolutionary perspective, but it's not at all reflects of consumer preferences. We're in a post-capitalist nightmare that eyes are not good enough for consumer preferences that we didn't even know. I didn't know my eyes were so terrible that Gabe Newell was like, it's terrible.
I think we should someone needs to tell Gabe body acceptance is a thing now.
Yeah. So the visual experience. So the visual experience, the visual fidelity we'll be able to create, the real world will stop being the metric that we apply to the best possible visual fidelity. The real world will seem flat, colorless, blurry compared to the experiences you'll be able to create in people's minds. It sounds like he's talking about like VR porn. It's like
fine wine. It's like once you have a palate for wine, you can't drink shitty wine anymore, so you may as well just not develop the palate. Like, to me, it sounds like, oh, the real world's going to be flat and uninteresting. Like, cool, I'll just not use your product. Then the real world won't sound so flat and uninteresting.
If you did not think that we're in the worst possible like future, Gabe Newell's about to drop this on you like casually. Imagine him just being like, "Oh yeah, where it gets weird is when who you are becomes editable through a BCI."
That's where it gets weird?
Let that fucking sink in. I'm going to change your personality, and I'm just saying it right now, and you'll pay me for the privilege.
Thanks. Thanks, Gabe.
Fucking post-capitalist nightmare.
Thanks for the privilege, Gabe.
At the moment, people accept their feelings are just how they feel. But Newell says BCIs will soon allow the editings of these feelings digitally. One of the early applications I expect we'll see is improved sleep. Sleep will become an app that you run where you say, "Oh, I need this much sleep. I need this much REM." He said, another benefit could be the reduction or total removal of unwanted feelings or conditions from the brain for therapeutic reasons.
Just take your drugs, Will. Never feel bad again, Will.
Like reading this, like I read through this and I was like, what the fuck? Now I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
no, I'm like,
out loud. He talks about like, you wouldn't get the vertigo that you get from VR headsets. And it would be more of a issue of like, it would seem really real. Despite several achievable applications for BCIs, Newell said he's hesitant to pause Valve's progress and turn one into a consumer product when the speed of research is so high. The rate at which we're learning stuff is so fast, so you don't want to prematurely say, okay, let's just lock everything down and build a product and go through all the approval processes. When 6 months from now, we'll have something that would enable a bunch of other features.
Yeah, that's my whole, like, you go first, Gabe. That's my point. Like, don't get Gen 1 of this.
Yeah, Valve is also contributing to projects developing synthetic body parts in exchange for expertise.
Wait, what is that? In exchange for expertise, we'll give you your arm if you give us your knowledge. If you sit here and work for a year, we'll give you an arm.
Contributing, that's literally a plot point in Deus Ex, like Human Revolution. It's, oh god. It turns out game engines are really useful because they simulate a lot of the information you need in order to create a simulated hand for people. Newell said, you can iterate software faster than you can iterate a prosthetic, so we give them a framework in which they can do research and work with patients. In case you were wondering, a Valve brand cybernetic limb is probably off the table for now. Valve is not in the business of creating virtual prosthetics for people. This is already the wildest interview I've ever read.
We've gone far off the rails at this point.
Yes. Yeah, they talk about artificial limbs for a little bit, and then Gabe says, oh, well, can we give people a tentacle? Our brains were never designed to have tentacles, but it turns out brains are really flexible.
Wait, Dave, you just got off the horn telling me that my eyes are the the lowest cost possible, and that they were crap, and that I should give everything up for your new product. So wait, my brain is good, but the rest of my body is trash?
Yeah, I guess so. But you could have tentacles though. Imagine that. That's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun.
they go on to talk about neuroplasticity, which is just like your brain can just adjust to things. And then it with no kind of like self-awareness, the article says, so the future of BCI sounds interesting, but what about the darker side?
What have we been doing this whole time?
Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. Newell briefly mentioned that BCIs could potentially be used to cause people physical pain, even pain beyond their physical body. What does that mean? Pain beyond the physical body. Your astral projected soul has just been fucking obliterated.
We've taught your brain that you have a tail now, and now we're going to cut it off.
We're cutting your tentacles, but there's... But we're going to take away your ability to enjoy hentai. No! You can make people think they are hurt by injuring their tool, which is a complicated topic in and of itself. They might make the player feel pain, the pain of the character they are playing as when they are injured, perhaps to a lesser degree. Imagine playing Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
With this. Yeah.
I think I'm good.
He says that not everyone will feel comfortable with connecting their brain to a computer. He says no one will be forced to do anything they don't want to do, and that people will likely follow others if they have good experiences, likening BCI technology to cellular phones. People are going to decide for themselves if they want to do it. Nobody makes people use a phone, except in our modern world. There will also be a heavy onus on developers to ensure their BCI products are rigorously tested and are secure from breaches. Your brain could get hacked.
This is just full cyberpunk.
This is full cyberpunk. Like, this is so...
Will, your brain is getting hacked. You need to calm down.
My brain's getting hacked.
Your brain is getting hacked right now through the computer.
This is the last fucking quote from Gabe Newell in this article. Nobody wants to say, oh, remember Bob? Remember when Bob got hacked by the Russian malware? That sucked. Is he still running naked through the forests or whatever? So yeah, people are going to have a lot of confidence that they are secure systems that don't have long-term health risks.
Your grandma's going to get scammed out of her own brain. Don't click on the pop-ups, Grandma. Don't!
Have you ever just stumbled into a supervillain speech and they don't realize they're a supervillain? Like, this is a technology I don't want. Why? Has he seen a movie? Has he seen a single movie?
Has he seen a single movie? Has he watched a piece of science fiction ever in his life?
It's so wild to me that he's just like, oh yeah, you just like plug your brain in and everybody's going to love it. I don't want this technology, Gabe. You're researching, like, he is just the most out of touch, like, CEO I've ever seen. At least Jeff Bezos is like, hey, the plebs want something. Ha ha ha. No. Like, at least he knows what the plebs are trying to want. Gabe Newell's like, people want to hook their brain up, right?
I need to more deeply experience my hentai. It's not realistic enough in VR.
Tentacles. You could get tentacles. It's not like you can't even get VR to fucking work, and you want us to connect our brains, and this is going to be like $1 million peripheral when you eventually put it out. Like, people are going to be like, oh, the brain computer is like $1,000. No, thank you.
Sign me up.
This is like, it's insane. Even at the low price of $1,000 for like infinite possibilities.
Or one Flaming Hot Cheeto.
One flame. I could get that in my brain, though. I could imagine that I was.
What he doesn't mention is that his new device has a Flaming Hot Cheeto port on the back, and you just plug in the Cheeto, and you go full Cheeto mode.
Gabe Newell with his shoes off in an interview just was like, he's just eating Flaming Hot Cheetos.
We've partnered with Flaming Hot Cheetos for the ultimate gamer experience.
Oh, these are really good. Hey guys, put out Flaming Hot Cheeto.
What kind of data are you getting from my brain right now when I'm eating these Cheetos?
Oh man, it's getting the flaming hot part of my brain. Great.
That's exactly the flame center. We've got to maximize the flame center.
Anyway, that's the nightmare future that we're about to apparently enter. Thanks, Gabe. Now on to you, Theo.
I have another ultimate nightmare future for you.
Oh, I'm ready. That was a good transition.
This is a post from r/hypothetical situation, and I wanted to give you the hypothetical, and we can discuss it, and then I can also bring you through the top comment, which is a journey that I loved being on.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, so the hypothetical. This is from from user u/atypical mammal, and he says, "You are the only human left on Earth, and you are immortal. Humans just magically disappeared and left everything as is. You are Wolverine type immortal. You are immune to disease. You don't age, and you can regenerate from most injuries. You don't need to eat or drink, but you feel kind of shitty if you don't. My own detailed plan is in the comments. Check it out and let me know what you think, or feel free to take this in your own directions." So, Will, you are Wolverine type immortal. You feel kind of shitty if you don't eat. Everything's as is. What are you getting up to?
It's just me, and like, is it nuclear apocalypse? Like, is it?
No, everyone just disappeared.
Everyone's just gone. It's just me. I can't die.
Can't die.
I would. Legitimately, I would want to die. I would probably be like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
If everyone disappeared, my initial reaction is, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm pretty not good. You could just kind of live that Twilight Zone, like, I have my books, and then I crack my glasses, and it's like, I finally had time. Oh, wait, my eyes healed. Never mind, I'm good.
So first of all, how long do you think you go without, or before you just go into a stranger's home? How long do you think it takes you to just enter a stranger's home?
Oh, pretty quick.
You think so? Really?
Yeah, I knock on the door. Okay, this is a sad look into my life. I think it would take a few days before I figured out everyone's gone, depending on the day of the week.
I don't think that's sad. I think it's like, okay, you realize, maybe you think that like maybe just your town is gone. Maybe you think like just the U.S. is gone. And
I'm talking like if my parents are gone for the weekend and they blip out of existence, it would take me a few days. Like, if it was me home alone, I would just be sitting there playing video games for like a few days before.
Home Alone 5. Will's doing fine.
The wet bandits got blipped. Like,
they got blipped.
the wet bandits got Thanos'd. Wow. Fuck. Yeah, I think like once I figure it out, I would knock on their door. I would knock on a few doors. I would start like walking around town. I would probably notice that like cars were just like abandoned or crashed. Mm-hmm. And I would go, I've seen movies. I'm ready. Like, and I think I would like, maybe break into a house after that point.
Damn. Yeah, I think it would take me. I would feel really weird about just like busting in someone's door.
That's not like, I would feel weird about it, but I think I would just be like, I guess like, the cops will come and then I'll feel better. Like, but I'll go to jail.
That's true. So, yeah, I don't know. What is my long-term plan? I think I would do some things that I wouldn't normally do. Like go and explore and try to see some things I've never seen. And at some point, I'd probably start trying to figure out how I could just end it all. Like, right?
After a while, yeah.
After a while?
I think, here's my plan, first of all. Oh, electricity. I wouldn't have power plants would go for a little bit longer, but I'm like, I would probably get a generator. Mm-hmm. I would, because my plan would just be like, try to watch as much content. I would just go into the full Will mode.
No one left on Earth, and Will's like, gotta finish WandaVision.
Gotta binge. I gotta binge all the content, because it's like, what else am I gonna do? I think I would also go adventuring. I would probably walk across the U.S. Mm-hmm. But then you get to like, you can't go to Europe, because that would be fun. I gotta say, if I was in Europe when this happened, I think I would have more content.
You'd have to teach yourself how to sail, and then you'd have to like sail, or you could teach yourself to fly a plane. You could find a plane that was full of.
Yeah, I would do that. I would try to find a plane. Because if I crash, if I crash in the middle of the ocean, fuck.
If you crash in the middle of the ocean, you wouldn't. What would happen? You wouldn't die.
I wouldn't die. I would have to swim.
Yeah, but you're immortal, so you couldn't die. Can Wolverine drown?
I think I would just be... No, he can't drown. I think I would just be... It would just be shitty.
It would just be shitty.
I would just sink, and then I'd... And then, like, I don't know. That'd be bad. And then I would get back, and I would start swimming again. So the main problem is, for me, that there's there's no DLC to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
There's no extra like once I do all the content, once I read all the scientific journals, I become like a protagonist in like I Am Legend or whatever. Then you're done. Like you try to find a way that kill yourself. That's the final thing you do.
I think it would be pretty neat to go like poke around some ancient ancient monuments and stuff like that, and go see what's up with that. Like go bust into some pyramids, see what's up with them, see what's going on.
I would do all that, but that's
limited.
How much time do you think that's
right?
gonna?
Yeah.
How much time do you think that's gonna take up?
You could probably spend like 10. You could probably spend like 20 years doing that.
I would go insane. I think very quickly I would be talking to myself.
The calculus becomes so much different on this question if you have even one person left with you, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Like even if you don't like that person very much, I feel like you could work it out where we're all we've got for each other. Like we have to make it work.
I might want to cut this out, but this is an idea that I've always thought would be a great concept for a short story, because in my head, how long would it take you sitting in a blank room, and you're told that if you step out of a door, the only door in and out, that you die? How long does it take you before you step out of that door?
Oh my God. Think? In a blank room?
Yeah, nothing in the room. Step out of the door. You die.
My God. I don't know.
You don't know if it's painful death. You don't know if it's like...
I probably wouldn't make it... probably wouldn't make it more than like 6 months. I think I go insane.
I think it's longer. I think it's longer than most people would think. I think some people would be like, I would just step out immediately because what's the point? And it's like, no, I think most people's survival instinct would be so hard.
Right.
But the moment that you have one more person in that room, I think it multiplies by like 100.
Right.
Like you're
totally.
there for a while.
Right.
So I think you're right about that.
Yeah. The calculus becomes so different.
Yeah, what is the OP
Here we
say?
go. Okay, so you're ready for a little journey? Here we go.
I'm ready for the journey.
Starts off here. Long-term goal, get off the planet before the sun blows up in 1 billion years. Short-term goal, salvage as much knowledge and technology so I can stabilize at early 20th century tech level. Anything beyond that is unsustainable by a single person. The first 100 years is a race against time, basically, as all the leftover technology rusts and crumbles. So far, pretty sensible.
I agree. I mean, the one thing is like early 1900s technology, and I'm like, have you done this calculus before? I think you could like maybe maintain other stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get into bullet points. So point 1, find a suitable long-term site that is climactically and technologically stable and has a source of power, quote, small river. Dry weather is a bonus to slow deterioration of technology. Also, oil well is a huge bonus, perhaps West Texas. Seems pretty good.
Okay.
Long-term knowledge preservation. Set up a scanner/camera connected to a CNC engraving machine. Set it to work engraving onto gold plate as many physics, engineering, chemistry books as I can. I will thank myself later in 1,000 years after all the books turn to dust.
I guess. Yeah, this is like thinking hard about it.
This is good, but also like you only have 100 years to source a lot of gold. Like,
yeah. I mean, you could just walk into Fort Knox, I guess.
Next bullet point. Visit Area 51 and other secret facilities in case anything there is a game changer. Also, it would be fun.
I like that like Zoltar is just like, hey, so they flipped out all the humans, but I'm just kind of sitting here. I've been eating paste off the walls.
Yeah, you got any gold plate?
I eat that.
Oh, no. We're going to have a problem here, buddy.
I could get you off the planet, though. So that's pretty sick.
Next point. Mining is hard. So instead, I build an enormous store of raw resources by raiding existing warehouses with a semi-truck. Thousands of tons of raw copper, sheet steel, lead ingots, stable chemicals, everything else that isn't going to go bad over time. This is well thought out, but also it seems logistically super not feasible, right?
The fact that he was like, mining is tough. I'm just like, you think this is Minecraft, don't you?
You think it's Minecraft, don't you?
Like the fact that even came up, I was like, of course you just go to warehouses. Like, what are you talking about?
That's right. I'm skipping a few here, but then he goes, obviously a hydro generator on the river, but also multiple diesel and even steam backup generators, so one drought doesn't send me back into the Stone Age. I think getting power by yourself is hard. Maybe generators. Yeah. Generators are probably good, but
I think you have enough gasoline, but then gasoline is going to like deteriorate after a while.
Right. Then he says, don't forget firearms tech. Wildlife will start becoming a problem pretty quickly, and it's no fun getting your head eaten off even when you are immortal. Besides, they might be needed if stage 2 starts going wrong. So that was stage 1. All of that was stage 1. So we need to go to stage 2 now. So he says, after 100 years of hard work, I should have the beginnings of a sustainable outpost of technology. For the next 100 years, I will be staying put and working out any bugs, since there might be some usable technology left to scavenge in case of serious problems.
People always forget about QA.
You gotta spend 100 years QAing.
100 fucking years. Yeah, I think you could get the bugs out in a little bit less time than that. Like,
we're not talking about like zombie
2
apocalypse.
Years, get all like, the gold.
Yeah, he's like, you could just start a farm. Like, you don't have to QA for that long.
Yeah.
When everything is running smoothly enough that I start getting bored and have lots of free time, it's time for stage 2. Stage 2, long-term program of breeding animals for intelligence. Unfortunately, apes will be really hard to get a hold of in North America, so I might have to try raccoons and some smaller South American monkeys. Here we get back into the bullet points. Come up with tests for intelligence, curiosity, language use, etc. Give them to puppies of each generation and breed the smartest ones. Eventually become their god. Use their manpower, parentheses, raccoon power, to move forward up the technology tree, parentheses, referencing the ancient knowledge preserved on the gold plates. Always stay a step ahead of them technologically as long as I can. Try not to be a mean god so they won't try to overthrow me and eat me or put me in an unescapable prison. Direct their society towards greater technological progress. Now comes the hardest part. At some point, the raccoons will greatly exceed me in power and eventually even technology. I will somehow have to transition the relationship from benevolent god to wise friend and advisor, while still guiding their society towards spaceflight. If it works out, eventually I can go and explore the galaxy with my space raccoon buddies.
You think this person has a significant other? Do you think they just like, this is what they do? Like, this is beyond the like fun, like, oh, I would just get this is a full plan. This is a full into the future of raccoon society.
This sounds like they're already executing this plan and had to come up with a hypothetical to explain their actions.
Yeah, you're right. I had to kill the leader of the raccoons. He made me do it.
He was becoming too powerful. He knew how to use the TI-89.
This is like, what a fucking, this is like when I'll be in like bed and I'll be like, what if I had superpowers? Yeah, and I think about that for fun. Except this guy's like, this is a bad scenario. This is like worst case scenario.
And he's like, he's living it up. He's there for it. He wants this to happen.
He's like, oh, I'll become your benevolent advisor.
I like how he's like, this is the hardest part. You have to at some point transition from god to advisor.
That's the hardest part.
When the raccoons become smart enough to realize they don't need your ass.
That you're a piece of shit and you're insane at this point.
And that you've selectively bred them and have developed a eugenics program beyond belief.
There's so many suppositions that this person made of like that they would understand. I guess you could learn all the math, but if you're just like, some people are just innately not as smart. Let's just say that.
I also think he's discounting how hard it is to learn without a teacher. You're presuming you can learn everything from books and what's left. No teachers.
I feel like I am college educated. I am a programmer, which people think that's a smart profession.
People think
it's a smart profession. If somebody was like, sit down, you're going to learn like, I don't know, it's like rocket science, like something like that.
Yeah, like astrophysics.
Like by yourself. That's hard. I think I could maybe do it, but I would also just be like, I'm so fucking bored. Like, you would get so fucking bored.
How many
so
thousands
crazy.
of failed raccoon births leading to bad results do you go through before you're like, I'm fucking done?
I don't know, man. Oh, man. You got a trial and error raccoons. You got scratches all over your fucking face. They're stealing your garbage always. Like, it's so bad.
You're Wolverine healing, but you don't have them claws. You can't show them who's boss.
Ow, ow. You scratch them back. You're like, how do you like it?
Hey, Will, my follow-up question. What if someone's doing this to us?
What
if we're the raccoons?
What if there's a big raccoon who's like, I'm your benevolent advisor?
It's been me. Takes off mask. It's been me the whole time.
It's been reptilians. I think it's the reptilians.
So you think that if any animal was doing this to us, it would be reptiles?
No, specifically the reptilians, which might be aliens. They might be from below the Earth's surface. Now let's get into my segment, the conspiracy. No, I'm just kidding. There are no more segments unless you want a quick one.
Would you want to hold it for next time? Open with it next time?
I can keep it for next time.
We're keeping those listeners on the hook, baby. Come back next time. We got some content for you.
All right. Well, this is the end of Civilization, but on a more minuscule note is the end of Segment City, this episode of Segment City. If you enjoy the podcast and want to send us some segment ideas, or if you just want to message us, send it to segmentcitypodcast@gmail.com. Hit up our Twitter @segmentcity, our YouTube Segment City. Leave us a review. Leave us a rating if you enjoy the show. We'll love seeing those. And we want to give a big end of the world thank you to
our raccoon overlord, Rachel Robinson. Thank you, Rachel. We trust you as a benevolent friend. And she does great work. She did our intro music, didn't she?
Yep, she did.
She's great.
Wonderful. And so will my raccoon army at the end of the day.
Me and my raccoon army are taking our business elsewhere. Thank you.
They just steal all my business.
My business.
You're stealing all my things, you little thieves. Raccoons are terrifying. But they're the future.
They're our only chance getting off this planet. So,
well, goodbye, planet.
Goodbye, planet. Hello, raccoons.
Hello, raccoons.